All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It is Monday morning. It is September the 2nd. What? What? This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week. We chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Hopefully, getting your day started off on the right note. We'll get you updated on the forecast. Ooh, hit into my desk there. Did I knock this like crooked? Okay. Hopefully get your day started off on the right note. We'll get you all updated on forecast information, both locally and the tropics, all that fun stuff. But before we get too deep into the weeds, I feel like my webcam is crooked now. Before we get too deep in the weeds, let's look outside. Oh, how pretty is that? Which one is that? That's one of the Disney ships. I don't know which one it is. It's beautiful, though. Some clouds over top there. Still very, very pretty. Let's head over to the Kennedy Space Center just up the road. Yep, Polaris Dawn Falcon 9 still upright, ready to go at some point. Hopefully, it'll all get going soon. I haven't heard a new date, but I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of been out of the pocket here the last couple of days. All right, continuing up north, it is the unofficial end of summer, and I have a feeling that the beach is going to be a very popular spot. Here's a live look, New Smyrna Beach. It's beautiful this morning, nice and early. Not too many people out there. Yeah. All right, let's head inland. Orlando International Airport. Yep, looking very, very nice. Let's head over to the tourist district. Oh, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Not too much traffic either. Downtown Orlando looking good. Let's head out to Tavares. Ah, Lake Dora, you are looking magnificent this morning. And last but not least, where should we go? Ocala. Let's head to Ocala. See what's doing here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty morning. So good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great start to the day. Our first warning live Doppler radar. Scanning from our studios in Winter Park. I am not working. I'm laboring just for coffee talk, but we're just hanging out. This doesn't work. But our live radar showing some rain off the shoreline. Let me lapse this for you. And very clearly, that's not bothering us. Now, we come down here toward like Indian River, St. Lucie counties. Still not bothering us. That's the Melbourne radar just tapping into it. Yeah, it's good. Our radar seeing all the same stuff. That's a beautiful start. That, my friends, is a beautiful start. Mid to upper 70s outside. We are headed into the 90s. And once again today, I think we'll have a high enough coverage for showers and thunder showers that we're going to have to call it an impact day. It's a holiday after all. And yeah. High coverage storms, people wanting to go out and play, all the fun stuff. Cats, tats, and gats. I'm still waiting to hear about why the radar glitches are interesting. Keep reminding me. We're not there yet. This has been a multi-year process, but keep reminding me. We'll get there eventually. All right, so that's where we're at. Yukon's asking, would I be arrested if I went and climbed the Melbourne radar? I think you would. I think just to get on property, it's like if you are not an invited guest, it's a federal offense or something. I'm not going to lie. Don't do that. All right, let's take a look at Futurecast for today. See what's doing, okay? First off, here's this morning. We're looking good, picking up on those offshore activities. Nothing too bad. 11, 12 o'clock. Starting to see those popcorning up, right? Not too bad. Then 1, 2 o'clock. There's your showers. There's your thunder showers. Continuing to fire up 3 p.m. Heavy storms around. 4 p.m. widespread storms. 6 p.m. Yeah, 7, 8. Same idea, right? Yeah, we've got plenty of stormy weather around for this afternoon. And that, my friends, is why, unfortunately, we're going to have to call our Labor Day impact weather. So showers and storms getting into that 3 o'clock timeline, but breaking it down further into the 12-hour period, yeah. There's going to be plenty around. Get Yukon the clearance to climb it. You know the powers that be. I've been up in the Melbourne radar once, right? Yeah. Darren asking, where's Cam? She's on TV at work. This is my house. She's not here. I love Cam. She's been here. She's just not here right now. Debbie says we got nothing in New Smyrna Beach yesterday. Feast or famine. That's kind of this pattern, right? But today, I think a lot of us are going to feast. So heavy downpours, like yesterday, could see some localized flooding. 3 to 8 is when we were really in that like roughest time frame. All right. Matt says, say hi to Cheryl, mom, your biggest South Florida fan. Hello, Cheryl. Good morning. Welcome to Central Florida. It's like South Florida, but just a little different. I'm in rare form. Am I in rare form today? I feel like this is normal. You know what it is, y'all? Let me show you. You know what it is? We got the new mouse. Amazon Basics, baby. What was it? $7? Good $7 spent. Yeah. That must be the rare form is I'm like I have a mouse that works. That's the only thing honest to goodness, that's the only thing I could think of. Yeah. And hell, good morning to you. Good morning. Karen says we really got yesterday in Boca. Yeah. I get that. I get that. Well, and we've got a lot of moisture in the area. I don't know. Did Marquise update this? Oh, okay. So let me see. So this is just look. Yeah. See, we've got it all on tropics mode. Hold on a second. Let me do this. I'm just gonna doctor this up real fast. Cindy says, "Don't throw it." I won't throw it. Promise. Promise. I'm not going to throw it. Windshield. Let's remove you. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, he did it in the scene layer. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Bear with me. I'm working I'm making sausage. I hit the delete key. What do you need? All right, scene camera. Let's do this. All right. So this is the GFS water vapor channel, okay? And let's just notice first off, super creative, the green color means moisture. Now, if you go blue, you're just straight up soup. A lot of moisture over Florida. That's why our rain chance is as high as it is. And notice that through there's Tuesday, there's Wednesday. We just kind of are trapped in this funnel of moisture. Lots and lots of moisture. Now, our friends in like Louisiana, even more moisture moving there. But notice for us, we are just trapped in this moist pattern through about Friday. And even into Saturday and Sunday, we're trapped in this moist pattern. It may be into next week, a little bit of dry air may sneak in. But the next 7 days' time, without fail, it's going to be stormy. It's going to be very humid. It's not going to feel anything like fall outside. Look at that. Morning lows this weekend, 77 in Orlando. Ah. But you do notice Saturday, Sunday, those rain chances tick down just a little bit. We're at a high coverage of showers and storms next few days because of all of that moisture. Yeah. All right. Cats, tats, and gats. How are the rainfall totals for the year doing? Let's look. So we've definitely gotten some help these last couple of days. Rain for the year. Now, this is the departure from normal. 77 was a good year. The departure from normal. Interestingly enough, we are still 10 inches behind in Orlando, 6.5 behind in Leesburg, or in Sanford. Yeah, so we're still running behind. But if we look at the almanac, I'm just going to pull up the Orlando almanac once I find the darn thing. DAB. All right. So here's the rainfall almanac for Orlando. All right. So yesterday had 8/100ths. That's all we've obviously had for the month. But notice what's interesting is like just so far this month, have fun. We got 8/100ths, but climatologically, we should have gotten an additional, we should have gotten a quarter of an inch of rain based on climatology. So in Orlando so far this year, we've had 27 inches of rain, but we should be around 37 inches of rain. And then these stats play out for all locations, like Daytona Beach, for example. There you go. Wow, Daytona got an inch, almost 2 inches of rain yesterday. So at least for the month, we're running above normal. But yeah, when you look at the year, we're still below normal. So it really just depends. Now, yes, we need a real soaker. What you need is tropical moisture, right? That's the deal. Yeah. So our climate does depend on a tropical system dumping a bunch of rain on it. It just does. It just does. Taylor says we were very moist in Daytona yesterday. Have a feeling you'll probably be that way again today. My collar's all fakakta on this shirt. You guys didn't tell me when I popped on Coffee Talk I look like a putz? All right. So heading to the beach today. You got a ton of rain in Daytona yesterday. The potential is going to be there today to get a ton of rain, right? 3 p.m. showers, storms around. All right. Yeah, Dawn says I'm in Lady Lake, and we hardly got any rain here, right near Harbor Hills. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some more rain for you. When we look at the rainfall chances for today, all right, this is kind of where we're at. Widespread showers and storms, lots of rain for lots of people. We need it. That's good. We'll take that. All right. Questions, comments, concerns about our local forecast. Otherwise, we can move on. Sound good? Here in East Orlando, our driveways are flooded out. It's so wet. Listen, we were out yesterday at SeaWorld because these kids, all I'm going to say is these kids. And I posted this on my Facebook. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. We brought supplies knowing that it was a thing, but you never want to have to put them on. Anyway, the storms start bubbling up right over top of us. And this is how we ended up. Yeah, I posted it on my Facebook. I was thrilled. And what's funny is I went. It's not a theme park poncho. No. That's not a theme park poncho. It's just a poncho. But it was at a theme park. My car this morning. So I keep my laptop that I'm doing coffee talk on. I just keep it in my car. That way, if I'm at work and I need it, if I'm at home, okay. When I pulled it out, I had left one poncho in the car. I thought I grabbed them all. I left one. And that one wet poncho made it so humid in the car that I was just like, ugh, it's like a cloud in the car. Good times. So anyway, there's that. Terry says we captioned the picture. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. What were the captions? All right. Any questions about our local forecast? I'll pop up the 7-day again, and then we can get into the tropics. But let's discuss the 7-day. Any questions about our local forecast before we move on? What captions did we have? Stormy next couple of days, friends. It was a dark and stormy night when Central Florida decided to celebrate Labor Day. My caption was brace for impact. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. We good? We good? Everything good? All right. Let's talk tropics. Nobody's made of sugar. Not going to melt. Oh, I agree. Listen, my feet it was all just a mess. All right. To the tropics we go. There are 3 areas to monitor. All right. 3 areas to monitor. Now, before we get too deep in the weeds here, just a couple of points of note, okay? We're getting into the climatological peak of hurricane season. So we would expect to have 3 areas to track. All right. First off, let's just show them to you. All right. There is an area that's been sitting off the coast of Texas, hasn't really wanted to do much. So still sitting with a 10% chance of development over the next 2 days' time. There's an area that's moving into the Caribbean, kind of heading toward the Yucatan Peninsula. Not really wanting to do much. 7-day potential of about 40%. And then there's a new wave coming off the coast of Africa that has a medium 40% chance of developing. Out of all of this, I would say that the models have certainly backed off on like major development, on anything getting crazy. Chris is asking, do the meteorologists' children have ponchos? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not just going to be like trying to protect myself and like, no, you kids, you're going to be soaked to the bone. No, I try to take care of them. Listen, parenting goal, keep them alive. Number 1. Number 2, try to make sure that they're the least amount of scarred through physically and emotionally. And 3, take care of them before you take care of yourself. It's kind of like the oxygen mask, but opposite. The oxygen mask, you put your mask on first and then on somebody else. When we were out there, when we were out at the park getting rained on, they had their ponchos on before I did. Cats, tats, and gats. Not the 0ZGF. Well, we'll look at that. We'll get there. We'll get there. But I would say overall, the ensemble support has shifted. It's It started to drop off a little bit. I'm not saying it's completely done, but there's the overall swing. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at models together, okay? Yukon says, oh, please, a little scarring is good for kids. Scare the crap out of them for a little bit so they become good human beings and rule followers. Yes, but also, like, try to, yeah, we need to instill respect and fear, all of that. But at the same time, okay, all right, anyway. All right, rolling through, we've got that wave crossing the Atlantic, trying to develop. Meanwhile, let's just pause here for a second. You've got a wave just past the Antilles there on the far right side of your screen here, and then another one heading toward like the Yucatan Peninsula. Yucatan deal sits in the Bay of Campeche. Whoa, and then we've got like a last second deal around the 13th. Look at that. Where do you come from? Kablawi, right toward Florida. Like, what are you doing? Remember, computer models are guidance, not gospel? Like, that doesn't seem possible. But okay, unless it's an old front and it's tied, I mean, it just doesn't look like as much there. All right, anyway, so you've got some little features. What are you doing when you get out of here? 990. Oh, it goes right into like, it goes right into like Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Old Orchard Beach, Maine. What are you doing? Awesome. Love that. Meanwhile, I got something else out in the open Atlantic, something out past the Bahamas. All right, well, that's crazy. All right, let's look at the 0Z GFS. Here's the entertaining one. All right, let's look at it together. Rolling through, you got something in the Caribbean, something working toward the. All right, look at this. So you got like 1, 2, 3 in the open Atlantic, and then you got another one in the Caribbean, and then you've got then we're in the Bay of Campeche here. Let's zoom in. Kind of hangs out near coastal Mexico, stops, starts deepening, becoming a massive low. Jesus. Then it goes right into Texas, or excuse me, into Louisiana / Mississippi. Let's go back one more with GFS. While we're just having fun, let's go back one more GFS run. Let's go back to the basin view. Something developing. It's not doing much. There's a bunch of like little Tomahawk missiles out there in the open Atlantic. Not, and then it blows up around. Yeah, it goes into Louisiana. So one thing that's interesting is he keeps kicking the can down the curve, going further and further and further out. So there's that. All right. But yeah, ensemble support as a whole isn't really showing up. We go over to the GFS ensembles. And again, if you're new to Coffee Talk or this is new to you, ensembles are essentially just 30 ways to look at the GFS. Essentially, it takes the GFS and then it reruns the GFS 30 different ways. So you kind of get 30 different versions of the GFS. All right. Now, we don't look at them in panels like this often. Moreover, you just kind of try and look at the ensemble support for stuff. So we're starting to see some ensemble support in the Caribbean here, right? Not a ton, but around the 8th, 9th, 10th, there's some ensemble support for something. And that's, I mean, honestly, like that's kind of about it. It's that area in that time frame. But the ensemble support is not what it was a few days ago. All right. All right, great. Let's switch over. Let's look at the operational European. 60. Whole lot of nothing. Go back to the 0Z just to be able to run it a little longer. A couple things maybe in the open Atlantic. Oh, what are you in the North Atlantic? Kablawi. around the 13th, maybe something in the Gulf of Mexico. Nothing strong. Yeah, toward the Panhandle around the 17th. There's just no strong signals. Let's go to the European ensemble. Multi-member. Yeah, so we clearly can see that there's ensemble support for something in the Gulf, right? Nothing wild, which is fine. Yeah. So, yeah. The tropics are remaining fairly quiet, y'all. Like, seriously. No frustration. And I would yeah, no frustration. Like none of us want to deal with any of this stuff. Yes, sir. Here, give it to me and I'll fix it. They're getting their half an hour time on tablets during coffee talk. Screen to add to the hello hello. There you go, buddy. What do you say? Thank you. You're welcome. I love you. Hey, hey, I love you. Thank you. All right. So this is what we're looking at for now, but the good news is, yeah. You're asking about like, you're saying like, don't jinx it. Like, I get that. I get that. Yeah. It'll only if it only stay quiet through your cruise. That's literally all I want. That's literally all I want. One thing to note is when we put out our hurricane forecast on March the 1st, we had discussed that climatologically, seasons that enter in like the way that this one is, they ran below average. We didn't think it was going to be quote unquote below average. Our numbers are definitely lower than the others, but there's still plenty of hurricane season left. We'll watch it, but yeah, the so-called seasonal forecast maybe should be a thing of the past. Media keeps saying busy season. It's not. Well, when you say media, that's just a blanket statement, and honestly, I can't stand that because media. What is media? They're reporting on what people are putting out. Colorado State University puts out a hurricane forecast. Media is going to report on that, right? Um, NOAA, the government, puts out a hurricane forecast. Media is going to report on that. The media, it's such a blanket statement. I literally cannot stand that. Everybody reports on stories. We have to pay attention to hear what the source is. This is my hurricane forecast. I didn't go hyperactive. Everybody else went crazy hyperactive. I said it was going to be lower than last year. I said it was going to be lower than what everybody else was saying. So again, you have to understand, consider your source. That's all. All right. So anyway, Matt, when do we dust off the BSR? I think when you and other media has hyped up the hurricane season. No, I never said that I thought that this year was going to be crazy active. But cool. Thank you, Carrie. Um, okay. So that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, I would say we dust off the BSR come October, once we more in get late September into October. Yeah. Yeah. Mostly in listening mode this morning. Oh boy. I'm sorry to read that, Jan. Take care. Do the best you can. Also, yeah, it's called forecasting. You know? We'll see how it plays out. No, no, Taylor. Calm down, Taylor. Sick him. No, 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 don't sick him. Calm down. All right. So listen, hurricane season is it all tropics always have a mind of their own. Forecasting is hard to do. It's the only job you can do. The only job you can do and get it wrong 50% of the time. We're literally trying to predict the future. It's not easy, you know? So there you go. There you go. Oh, God, Taylor, calm down. Calm down. You put out as others did, it would be busier. I didn't say it was going to be busier than last year. I actually said it was going to be less busy. Everybody else did, but I didn't. I would also go on to say it's September. Let's just calm down and see how this plays out. All right. We put out our hurricane forecast and then we don't touch it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I just need to buy a new crystal ball. Maybe my old crystal ball just is antiquated. Oh well. Oh boy. All right. You've unleashed the I know. I know. Let's put the leashes back on. Let's just take it easy. Let's calm down. Yeah. All right. Science is beautiful. Love it. Kelly, good morning. All right. So that's where we're at. CSU puts out a forecast, I think now every 2 weeks. Yeah. Whereas mine was out in March. And we don't really mess with it. Right? There you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm not going to hype. I'm going to give you the information, do the best we can, and it is what it is. You're the most calm and so humble. Oh, thank you, Erica. Thank you. Can't put Taylor's leash back on. That one done snapped her collar. Yeah. Ay, Gewalt. Ay, 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 ay. Kaylee Eric's never said super busy. Other sites have. You know, I think we all have to understand too. Like, it's not like I'll show you my forecast. These numbers have not been touched since March. Remember, March, we were in spring. And what Jeremy and I had seen, and it's funny because he texted it to me not long ago, and I make so much fun of him for keeping paper logs. Okay, so when we were working on these numbers, we looked at the climatology, and he had cited these. Of course, it's going to be blurry. He had cited these years. Look at these years for the numbers of named storms. 1966. These were the years that climatologically matched this year. 66, 73, 83, 98, and 2016. They were all quieter than, I mean, not in the 60s or 70s because like seasonal forecasts weren't a thing, but they were all like a little quieter than expected, right? Now you see 98 and 2016, 98 was like a heck of an El Nino year, but if you look there, notice that like the numbers were fairly low, but the percentages of the stronger storms, hurricanes, and the like were higher. And that's where we came up with our forecast. We had said it's probably going to end up being a little above average. Not crazy. Like I think Noah was going with like 26 named storms or something. We were like, that's not going to happen. But we did say that the probability of some of those storms getting stronger would be a little higher. And, you know, to me, we'll see how it ends up, right? But when we look at the percentage of storms to get a little stronger, you know, look at what we've had. We've had 5 named storms. 3 of them have become hurricanes, 1 major. So to that point, like it's playing out how we thought. Yeah. But that's kind of where we're at. Yeah. I didn't see any hyperactive, but we should have a name storm right now. 2016, we had Hermine. No. I get everything that you're saying. PM on YouTube. I get what you're saying. We were not forecasting this hyperactive season. Yeah, it's just not happening right now, and I'm good with that. Now, one thing that we can look at. So anyway, to just finish my point, the season is playing out among the lines of what we had expected. It's definitely been a little quieter than even we expected, but we'll see how this plays out. You know, it's too early to sit back and say everybody's screwed up. Forecasting is not friggin' easy. We put these numbers out March the 1st, which means that we were really finished with our forecast like February. I'd say, oh, not those numbers. Sorry, wrong graphic. We put out our forecast numbers March the 1st here. I would say that we were done with our forecast probably February 7th to February 15th. And, you know, we were in winter/spring. So it you know, a lot forecasting is hard. It just is what it is. Cindy says that's kind of funny. Cindy says you can't mess up forecasts. You can miss, but not mess up. Well, and I'm not going to ever promise to do anything but the best I can. And to me, I never called for I didn't ever think this year was going to be a hyperactive season. Right? Okay, the guy with the pallet of water, still pissed. Stupid, but yeah, well, look, Oh, I'm not defending. No, maybe I do seem to be defending. I just want to make sure I'm 100% forthcoming with my methodology and with my feelings about it. You know? Um, that's all. Yeah. This is still an unusually quiet September standards. Absolutely it is. It's okay to say our forecast was wrong. Other sources are still insisting it's going to be busy. I'm not going to say the forecast was wrong yet. I'm going to say let's watch and see. That's all. Right? That's all. But I never expected it to be a hyperactive season. So there's that. You would never predict a hyperactive season because there's no hype here. Cindy, that's funny. I like that. All right. So let's look at what. So, when we talk about our hurricane season forecast, though, we always look at things like the long range pattern that we look at, the Madden-Julian oscillation. We always look at different pieces because weather is not just one thing, weather is multiple things, right? Okay, so to that point, um, I would say the Madden-Julian oscillation just has not been there. It's just not supported Atlantic development. We have a bunch of named storms in the Pacific, and so to that point, when the Pacific is active, the Atlantic is not. So let's take a minute. Let's look at the Madden-Julian oscillation, and this is This is just kind of the broad stroke of things, and you can clearly see the browns. That's where we are out of phase. We are not getting added lift. The greens, where we are getting added lift. So clearly, case in point, the Pacific is green. Even the coast of Africa is green. And that's where we're getting that wave coming off of the coast of Africa. But let's watch through time. All right. We're staying in phase right on the coast of Africa, but like the Atlantic basin, just look at that. Like the Caribbean, that's through the 13th of September. We are not in phase. So to that point, MJO just does not want to shift around to show it. The MJO has been out of whack. That's something not foreseeable. Right. And that's one of the things. But, that's the thing I think people don't understand when some of these long-range hurricane forecasts come out and they're like, the ocean temperatures are hotter than they've ever been. It's like, that's one piece of it. But you got to look at all the other pieces. And so, yeah, to that point, it's, there's a lot. Yeah. No, I don't want anybody to think I'm over here trying to argue that I'm right and everybody's wrong. I'm just trying to share like transparently. We always thought that the season was going to be a bit lower. We didn't think it was going to be this low at this point, but we'll wait and see. I'm fine. I'm fine knowing that our numbers are lower than everybody else's, if I'm honest with you. Are we all going to be wrong in terms of those numbers? It's possible. Am I going to lose sleep over it? Nope. Not at all. Jeff says, thank you for explaining the Madden-Julian oscillation. Of course, basically, the Madden-Julian oscillation gives you that added spin, that added lift. And when you're in phase, hurricane. When you're out of that phase, crickets. We've been out of that phase. And this father, this husband, this dude that has to work a lot when there's hurricanes, totally okay with that. So, yeah, love that. You set the MJO with your high-speed hornopathia, right? So anyway, no, I want to make sure everybody knows I'm not over here like defending a dissertation. I'm not over here, but I want to make sure you all know the way that I'm feeling about the forecast and everything, right? Like, am I going to end up being wrong with those numbers? It's possible. I'm lower than most everybody else. Super glad. Close also works. We put these out in March. So anyway, Chris says, and as Andy says, the show's not over yet. Yeah, that was my argument working with you. I'm right. You're wrong. Glad we established this quickly. Nice. Taylor says, don't lie. You want the break at the office. Yeah, I don't want to work a lot. Like at the end of the day, if I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all, a lot. Sleep past midnight. When there's hurricanes that hit us, I have to wake up at midnight. That sucks. Is anyone paying you for this forecast? I mean, someone buying your forecast? Okay, this isn't a hobby. Oh yeah, no. I mean, it's just a hobby. Wesh and WJCL haven't asked us to do this. We're just doing this for a hobby. Yeah. Can Publix offer a liquor discount for residents for Cat 3 and over asking for? I don't think they do that. I don't think they do that. Oh man. Well, and so PM says climate change may be responsible for chaotic events. At this rate, we might have a historically slow second half of the season. There are theories, though, talking about warmer ocean temperatures. Now, this is interesting. Okay, there are theories. Let me explain. And I feel like for those of you that have watched for a while, maybe you will have heard me discuss this originally. Dr. Neil Frank, former director of the National Hurricane Center, fascinating guy. Dr. Neil, what's wrong? Oh my gosh, do it. These boys know that their time on those tablets is coming to an end today. All right. So Dr. Neil Frank, former director at the National Hurricane Center, and I were chatting about record warm ocean temperatures, and he was discussing, and it makes sense how some people are saying record warm ocean temperatures could absolutely make us have 1,000% more hurricanes or something. But what if the column of air is so moist you don't get the opportunity for as much convection and lift, et cetera, et cetera? And thus it drops the numbers down. And as he's talking, I'm just like, well, you're far smarter than I am on any day of the week. But and I kind of held on to that and I kept thinking about it and I kept thinking it's like interesting. So it's like you have to understand with weather, it's never just one piece of the puzzle. There's multiple pieces to puzzles. There's so much that we understand about weather and there's so much we don't understand about weather, right? So much. So, you know, we're going to do the best we can, but there's so much to it, right? Yukon, oh, interesting idea. I wondered if extra hot would impede development. And it kind of, yeah, it makes sense for sure. Yeah. I'm not asking for destructive storms. It's nice that we're not dealing with that, but it's concerning that complacency will increase for Tampa Bay area. We haven't had any major storms since 21. But I would go further than that. I mean, complacency is never a good thing with any area. Like I grew up here in Orlando. Okay, my entire Orlando got hit with Donna in 1960 and not really another one until Charlie in 04. And I just remember being raised in this mentality of hurricanes just don't hit Orlando. And then Charlie, we kept getting hit. And it's just like, oh, wow. Okay, very different world here. Complacency is not great. So to that point, we have to keep very close watch. Yeah. Matt says interesting. It's interesting, right? And, ocean temperatures are hot. La Nina's not kicking in as much as it at first thought. You're going to win the level? Go for it. Wait, let me do it in a couple of minutes. Let me just finish talking to our friends, okay? Oh, he's swimming on there. Matt says maybe our homeowner's insurance will go down. If yours does, God bless you. I have to fight for every moment of that, man. Yeah. Oh, PM, I agree with you. And I would also say, like, I'm a meteorologist, not a climatologist, but yeah, I would agree that there's a lot we understand about and to this point, like let's call a spade here, people. This goes for hurricane hyping. This goes for people that call other people out. Like, there's so much we understand. There's so much we don't understand. So let's try new theories. Let's try new things. Let's try and get better at it. Right? Weather forecast. If I'm going to break this news to you, then I really feel bad. Okay? We're not perfect at forecasting the weather. We've gotten pretty good. But you know what? We're not perfect. And that part's really hard because the expectation is really perfection. Ain't gonna happen. Because things, little this sneaks up there. The atmosphere's 3D. It's just never gonna happen that way. So we'll try. Promise you, we'll try. But at the end of the day, guess what? If it stinks for you, it's gonna stink for me too. There you go. And that's the final word. 7-day forecast. Lots of storms around. Brandon says, I own an insurance agency. Less active storm season equals lower cost on reinsurance next year, which translates into lower Florida rates. Fingers crossed. Serious? Okay. See, now you opened up a can, Brandon. I feel like you need to be one of our first guests on the Coffee Talk drive-through come after hurricane season to discuss that. Seriously. I feel like we're going to need to talk about that. What do you say, Brandon? Just think, you're not getting nasty grams for interrupting people's favorite programming for hurricane updates. You mean I don't get to frustrate Central Florida? What? Oh, gravy. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. We've got a couple more minutes on there, and then I'm going to have to turn them off. We're going to have to go out and play, okay? Sound good? Oh, wow. Look at you, Don. All right. Y'all hear it. Brandon's going to join us. Brandon's going to join us. Yeah. Let's see here. What is perfect is a 57-3 win. Go Knights, charge on. Oh, man. Where I am, it hasn't rained for over a week and the grass is turning brown. We've got a bunch of rain in the forecast this week. Yeah, it looks that way. This is one of those gifts. He's playing on one of these little things. We held off on tablets for a long time for these kids, and we give them like a half hour a day. My mother gave this to our kids way before it was like developmentally appropriate. So we just gave it to them now, and it's kind of sweet for me because it's kind of this posthumous present that my mother gave to them. So yeah, I don't know. For me, it's a sweet little moment. How does 9/16 through 9/20 look for Utopia of the Seas cruise? I'm going to be on like 2 cruises after you, Brian. So I'm hoping for both of us that it's looking good. All right. So we can all be mad at Brandon when our rates go up. I don't think he controls that. Bless you. Questions, comments, concerns? Sam Houston is Saturday. How are we looking weather-wise? I see storms. I see storms. My daughter was very limited on tablets at a younger age. Yeah, they get during coffee talk. And as soon as I wrap up with y'all, it's ending. Yep, you got like 2 minutes, okay? Yes, and then you've got 2 minutes left, and then we're gonna put them away, okay? Do you need to go potty? Okay. Let's do it. That's right, Jessica. That's right. All right. Anything else, everybody? Little man's hanging out here, so it's going to get a little loud. Any other questions, comments, concerns? No? All right. We got storms. Just track them, and we'll be good to go. It is. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you all so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. See you tomorrow morning. Bye.